Hi, I'm Zaza. I'm a guitarist, composer, and producer, and basically music is my life. And today I'd like to take you through one of my favorite new easy-to-use pieces of software called Progression. This program has been very valuable to me because it enables me to create music, write music, notate music, do lead sheets. I use it with my students for teaching purposes. It's just an amazing program, and I'd like to walk you through it today. Now, like most musicians, when the idea strikes you, the first thing you're going to do is grab a piece of paper or a napkin and a pen and start writing stuff down. But as you know, you can't really give a napkin to your band and expect them to play. So this is where Progression comes in. What I'll do when I have an idea, open up the laptop, fire up Progression, and instantly I'm greeted with a very guitar-like interface that I can relate to and easily navigate through. In fact, if you take a look at the interface right now, on the left-hand side, a guitar neck that we can enter notes in. The master volume knob goes to 11. What guitar player doesn't relate to a volume knob going to 11? And on the right-hand side, I have all the different articulations and notes that I can easily and quickly drag into the music. So it's very easy to get my music into a proper form. Now, one of the things I really love about Progression is that it supports the way I want to work as a guitar player. Now, there's a variety of ways that I can get my music and ideas into Progression, and it really supports them all. So for instance, let's say I wanted to enter notes in using a MIDI guitar or a MIDI keyboard. No problem. Obviously, it's going to handle standard notation, guitar tab, no problem, as well as step input using the supplied fretboard on the left-hand side, no problem at all. Now, what's cool about it is once we get the music into Progression, the parts are dynamically linked together. So if I want to make a revision on the notation, it reflects in the tab. Or conversely, if I want to make a revision in the tab, it reflects in the notation. It's all very easy, very simple, and very user-friendly. Now, speaking of very easy and user-friendly, the keyboard shortcut system that's implemented in the software is incredibly great. If I want to change a note to an eighth note, I simply press the E key. If I want to make it a quarter note, simply press the Q. It's that simple. Let's take a look at the sidebar in Progression, and this is where all the magic really happens here. We've quickly and easily gotten our music into Progression. So now with the sidebar, we could customize and tweak each element of our score so that it sounds exactly like we want it to sound. If we take a look, a lot of different elements in the sidebar, a lot of different tweakability elements in the sidebar. So let's take a look. If we go from top to bottom, we could choose voice 1 or 2. We could choose different repeats, different markings. We have the different note lengths, rests, mutes, tuplets. We move down a little bit more. We have some more guitar articulations, palm muting, vibrato, stretches. Moving down a little bit more, we have chord block diagrams, text. If you put lyrics in your score, that's where you put it in right there. Moving down, key signatures, we have dynamics. At the very bottom, what we have is a VST mixer that we'll get into a little bit later, but needless to say, for right now, you can adjust your presets and your tones, volumes, and pans. Very easy. So for instance, let's get started on this. Why don't I adjust some of the dynamics of a note here? So for instance, I'll grab forte, which is F, drag it over and just click on a note. So now that note is designated as forte, and one of the great things about the dynamic sample library that we recorded for this program is that that's a different note, it's a different actual sample for that dynamic. So if we had a piano note, it would be a different sample for that note. This is what makes it sound very lifelike and realistic. All right, let's take another articulation. Why don't we take a stretch and click on that, hit on that. So what we'll do now is the ease of use of a lot of these articulations, you can't beat it. So what you'll do is if I want to adjust the pitch of the stretch, all I do is grab the arrow and move up and down. So if you look, I'll grab this here, move down, and I can get a half step stretch, 3/4 stretch, or a whole step stretch. Very easy, very quick, very intuitive. Let's take one more articulation that I really use a lot. And if we take palm mute, that's PM in the sidebar. Just gonna take that, drop it, And if you see, I just drag, and you see the dotted line behind it for the duration of the phrase that I want palm muted. All I do is click, and there it is. So now the palm muted samples will play during that part of the score. So just the thing to remember, the sidebar is where you make all the magic happen in the score, all the little tweaky things that we do as guitar players that make us guitar players, it's done in the sidebar. Okay, so now you've finished entering in your masterpiece into progression and you need some drums. Not comfortable programming drums? I know I'm not. But it's very easy to do this in progression because they supply you a drum library to do it with. So let's take a look at it. All I'll do is go to the Help menu, drop down to Drum Beats. There's a full complement of drum loops in various styles. So I'm going to choose this one right here. Double click. It comes up on its own window. I'm just going to copy and paste that in to my song. It's as easy as that. Okay, so you've entered your song in, you've tweaked all the articulations in the sidebar, you've added drum loops. Now it's time to tweak in the guitar tone. Progression ships with Revolver and Amplitude 2 Duo, which are great VST guitar emulation software plugins. If you have your own, you're welcome to use those as well. So let's take a look here. If we go down to the VST mixer, all we have to do is press FX and we can choose which plugin we want to use. And for this instance, I'm going to use Amplitude 2 Duo. And I'll just click a preset here. Now the great thing about this is that I can choose different amp heads, different cabinets, different effects. You can have up to 3 different effects on your track. So if you want to have reverb on your drums, delay, reverb, chorus on your guitar, you can feel free to do that. And in fact, what I'm going to do on the second track, I'm going to add Revolver. Just choose a preset here. And what's great is that you can actually just press play and hear what it sounds like in the process. So if you think about it, you went from writing a song, maybe grabbing a scrap piece of paper, a napkin, and a pen and just scribbling something that you couldn't give to the band, to now that we've just entered our song in, all the elements of it, you can export a WAV file, print it out, and hand it to them. A napkin never sounded this good. Let me do a little playing for you right now, using this as a backdrop, as progression as the band in the computer and me playing. Okay, we've showed you how easy it is to use progression, how easy it is to tweak up all the articulations and tones, how easy it is to export to print, to WAV file, to get all your musical ideas to whoever you need to get them to. The only thing left now is for you to make your own music with it. So best of luck.